This video is sponsored by the Outcast Seal.
Feeling like a seed in the ground, nigga, all I wanna do is grow. But that shit going too slow. Niggas be doing the most. Can't wait till I make it and glow. Now let me just switch up the flow, switch up the pace.
For those who recognize anime subtleties, you'll find a new appreciation for this piece. On top of that, each person will have a one-of-one staple piece added to their fit. Outcast Seal, out now. No reason to wait, go get yours now.
Welcome back to the neighborhood again. You know what I'm saying? We growing every day. Come join us. So hit that subscribe button, that like button, get the notifications, you know what I'm saying?
Turn that on.
Let's get to it.
That's in the health class, just not to have sex. It's in every guy's nightmare.
Hold up!
What?
It's just, I just find it funny that she's talking about that, and then they just go to the pregnant woman in the room.
It's abstinence. They told us in the health class just not to have sex. It's hard. I mean, every guy's nightmare.
Hold up!
What?
It's just, I just find it funny that she's talking about that, and then they just go to the pregnant woman in the room.
Honestly, they did that?
Yeah, bro. Look, she's like abstinence, and then boom, they just frame on her. Wait.
Not to have sex. It's hard.
Her face. She looks so tight.
Hey, yo.
She's like, bro, what are you talking about?
Why you do that?
She's like, I didn't come here to be violent.
It was funny. I just found that funny.
I'm gonna lie, I'm getting roasted.
Oh, man.
It's hard. I mean, every guy's nightmare is getting your girlfriend pregnant, and sometimes.
Is this sponsored by Spectrum? Spectrum?
Did they say that?
It says Spectrum.
Gonna have to pull that back.
Look, Spectrum.
Oh, no, they're just showing a spectrum.
Oh, right, the show with the lines, bro.
Yeah, Spectrum.
Yeah, okay. Bro, I saw Spectrum. Every time I see Spectrum, I'm just like, cable?
Oh, no,
Internet?
I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah, obviously, but... Oh, that's loud.
I consider an abortion.
Turn yours down.
3, 2, 1, go.
I considered an abortion?
Yeah.
My first thought
She's
was
like,
like,
I don't know about
I'll
that.
get an abortion, I'll go to Planned Parenthood. In the end, when it came down to it, I realized that I couldn't do that. I understand how other people need to make that choice, but yeah, I did totally consider it.
I really had to think about the other women in my life that have had children. For me, the first thought that came to my mind was my mom, because she tried so hard to have a baby, and if I...
Is she pregnant right now?
I think everyone here has been pregnant or is currently pregnant.
Okay.
were to have an abortion after that, it's almost like disrespecting all the work she put in. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have this baby. And then really it came down to, am I gonna do adoption or am I gonna be a mom?
I planned this pregnancy. A lot of people might think otherwise and just be like, she's just saying that because she doesn't want people to think the baby was an accident. I can't choose for other people. You guys have your own.
That is something that I always think about.
Wait, so she's saying that she planned on having a baby at that age?
Well, I guess you're saying, I think, because I even say that about, like, I even say that when my parents say that. Like, I don't think I was super planned, but they never say, I think it's something to do with, like, the mindset of a parent. You know what I mean? Like, you have to, from the get-go, you're ready.
Listen,
like,
you're not going to always tell your kid or something like
exactly.
that. Give them information that would potentially...
No, but I'm saying, I think they're getting ahead of it even, like, they're getting ahead of it in themselves. And that's the reason why, even in this moment, she's saying, I still planned. The second I realized I was about to get pregnant, I started planning or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
And I think that's fair. I think that's still you weren't attempting to get pregnant.
Yeah.
But you took it upon yourself once was the case. I took responsibility and planned. So
I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Own choice, but there's so many ways you can prevent a pregnancy you could have done it beforehand instead of once the baby's already in there and trying to kill off a heartbeat, because the baby has a heartbeat on his 4th week, and that's usually when everybody finds out they're pregnant. I don't have a choice for other people, so I mean, everybody has their own choice, but personally, I'm against it.
I was educated on birth control methods before getting pregnant. 3, 2, 1, go.
The way it happened with me, I mean, I grew up in like a really like Christian household, so like it was always taught like abstinence, and like my parents didn't even know that like I was having sex. And I mean, I was using like condoms, but obviously I was naive that that was gonna like work in the long run, which it does.
Wait, but that's a form of
Nah,
birth
but
control.
it does. I don't know what she's. I don't let her finish, but she said it wasn't working in the long run. So I guess she was saying that like maybe eventually take the condoms off, and then like it doesn't.
Yeah,
actually
because
end
she
up working.
did. Yeah, but
condoms
the
themselves
question,
are not
but the
a problem.
question was,
Were you educated on it?
condoms is a
condoms
form
is
of birth control.
Birth control, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I don't know why she's on this.
Yeah, on that side. I think because I think
maybe she was
when
thinking about
when
like
pills, and I think that's like
but condoms is a form.
Yeah, a form of it. Yeah, okay.
Wasn't. I mean, I knew that there were options out there, but it was something that was never like explained to me that I could get this so that I won't get pregnant.
I'm from Texas, and in Texas
this
it's
is it.
abstinence,
This is
abstinence, abstinence. They told us in the health class just not to have sex. So I honestly
They
didn't
still
know
do it?
pregnancy was so common. I thought like it just happened sometimes
That's
when
crazy.
you had sex. Sometimes you would get pregnant. I really do think
I guess people
that
don't
that should
talk
be
about that. Like in places that are like super, that don't like maybe more super religious.
Mm-hmm.
They only talk about like you will have a kid if you don't do these things. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to stop them from having sex, so they don't give them like a plan B.
Telling
like,
you
literally
like
plan B. They don't give them that.
they don't inform you of the information. If you engage in these
You're
actions,
going
then
to have kids.
these
So
are
they don't even know.
possibilities.
She just thought
Yeah.
that like, well, like
Because they're just
have to
telling you
really
not
wanna
to
have a
do
kid to have
it,
a kid.
and
yeah, exactly.
and bro, so I think this is also in parenting. Like sometimes you tell your child, it's like don't do that, or you should do this, but they also don't necessarily kind of break down like
Oh,
the
steps
why
of
of like
why.
here this is what will happen, or here this is why it's good for you, because then that can reinforce the fact of like this is why you should do it, this is why you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, I see.
And come to your own conclusions.
You're not letting people make. You're not actually teaching them. You're just telling. You're giving them a command.
Yeah.
I can see what you mean.
Yeah, I totally agree. I live in the mountains, and it's really conservative up there. The schools are really small. I look at like.
What does she mean by the mountains? I feel like she just didn't want to tell where she's from. But she said I live in the mountains. Like there's mountains everywhere. But I don't know what that means.
I
Maybe
think
this
of
is
a place
California.
near us, bro.
Because I'm guessing that this is like California. I'm guessing. So maybe it's mountains near there.
Okay, but all right. So regardless of,
Oh, but you're just saying geography.
it's just
where
like
mountains
you're
would be.
far away from people, so you're kind of like in a segregated area.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's really the point.
Like my boyfriend's little sister, she's gonna be 12, and some of the girls in her grade are having sex, and she's in 6th grade. The information that they're
surprising
giving you
to
in
you?
schools needs to.
6th grade?
There was a kid in my. There was a kid in my in like 6th grade that got like middle school that got like 3 girls pregnant.
In 6th grade?
In like from 6th to 8th.
Yo, that's crazy,
I don't know if
bro.
all of them kept babies or not, but I know that was.
Bro, that's crazy. None of that happened near me.
We were wilding, yeah.
None of that happened near me. Yeah, your school was wilding. Your school was wilding. I can say,
People were getting.
I
pregnant,
can
yeah.
say that like there was people sexually active
Yeah, like
in
it's like
6th
13 years
grade.
old, people were sexually active.
Okay,
Something like
I can say that.
I think when people
but,
say 6th grade, it
but,
sounds old.
bro, pregnancies at that age, bro.
What do you mean? All you need is to be past the age of 11 to be past
Bro,
your first period.
all I'm
most
saying,
people.
all
And
I'm
then,
saying
like, a
is,
guy,
bro,
you
like
just- a second
for
year
me,
born.
I did not experience that. Like that's wild.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I wasn't involved in those things. But,
I'm not saying you were, but the fact that your school was, it's just like.
Oh, in your school wasn't like that?
No, bro. We didn't have no pregnancy. Well, actually, nah, but that was more like some rumor shit, and then we found out that it wasn't true. Like, they was trying to say homegirl was pregnant, but she was not. It was just like on some little kid stuff, but like...
It could have been that it wasn't necessarily true, but the whole school, I thought it could be that it wasn't true, but I know it's biologically possible, and I know there was multiple people. There was somebody who was in there that was pregnant during the time.
But for me, bro, like, that's wild, bro. 6th grade?
Yeah. Well,
You out here getting that 6th grade.
yeah, people. And I think it's a specific type of person too. I think it's like, I don't think that someone
What kind
that's
of
well adapted.
I wasn't even
well,
thinking
like,
that like at that age though.
But what I'm saying, I think it's like when people who are like not well versed in a social group, they tend to get into that stuff because they don't have anything else to do. And
Yeah,
like,
but okay. Here's my thing, though,
and
right?
they're already like kind of because it's from having sex a lot. I feel like is what happens. So the first time, chances are you didn't know how to.
Time out, but you're not having sex a lot when you in 6th grade.
Some of these people were having sex every time after school.
In 6th grade.
6th, 7th, and 8th. That's only a 3-year. I'm saying like that whole time period. I'm saying there's people that their parents weren't at home. Their parents weren't at home when they went home, so they could just bring someone over, and they'd be just messing around, things like that, for the whole time period.
Bro, that type of exposure didn't hit me until like the end of like it was more like later 7th going into like 8th grade.
See, that's not 6th. You think that 6th and okay? In your school was 6th grade in elementary school?
Yes.
Oh, our 6th grade is in the middle school, so that's why it's all the same world.
Still around like little kids, bro, like kindergartners down the hall,
I
bro.
understand why that didn't happen for you, but
yeah, that's what
you're going to a whole different school and things like that.
Nah, people started acting a little crazy once we got into middle school. People started acting crazy.
Adapt to where we are now in society, to where it's in the right grades, it's the appropriate information. They're talking about things like the implant that are somewhat new.
What is the right grade?
Oh, to be having sex?
Yeah.
She's 17, so I'm guessing not even then. I don't think there's a right age to be getting pregnant in middle school.
No.
We don't live in times where...
But let's say kids, right? Like you have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
What's a grade that she's in where you're like, she gonna start being sexually active? Or he gonna start being sexually active?
Probably like sometime in high school.
Okay, so like for you, grade, it's between 9th and 10th grade.
If you're doing it before high school, I'm doing something wrong. And once they get to high school, you just have to teach them how to do it safely. That's my mindset.
Teach them everything they need to know from a young age. Like, I thought my mom was going to be mad at me, so we need to be open so they're not like scared to come talk to us about something that's so normal.
Relationships change after.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I was talking about what she just said before we get to that. She said, do you ever notice this, that like at least a lot of the younger, like the teen moms that I know, they have like this friend kind of relationship with their kid rather than like a parent relationship. Mm-hmm. And I guess I haven't seen their whole life pan out, but like the kids are like unruly and things like that in the ones I know at least. Because
when you say you gotta define unruly for me.
Unruly is out of control.
Okay, fair.
That's because they don't have like they to the kid it's they can like negotiate things a lot more than
because they have a different bond relationship.
Yeah, it's like a friend rather than a parent where it's like you're certain things that are acceptable and certain things that aren't acceptable.
Okay, so I'm
as
talking.
long as you're talking to me, I feel good.
I'm talking in more of a theoretical sense because I can't say personally.
You don't know any?
I have
teen moms or teen dads.
Like I'm friends with them and they have kids.
I'm not great
or
friends with them.
like I'm friends with the sons that are that
either
have
way,
teen
yeah,
moms.
like even that, like you have friends that were who are friends from teen moms.
Not close enough to really give a more valid like personal experience. So that's why I'm going with a theoretical speech where all right. I think that the parent would need to have created an understanding and a dynamic where in a certain situation if they say something that the kid still processes that command to be as such if it was just a regular parent-child dynamic.
But what do you mean by regular parent-child dynamic?
So
because what I'm saying is
because they're breaking that because they have more of the peer-to-peer friendship.
Which a peer-to-peer friendship, like you and I can't tell you what to do with your life, which gives you plenty of room to make mistakes and to take L's and things like that. Whereas like if I was like your parent, I would be able to create a structure that you had to live in because I'm the one that gives you food, I'm the one that takes you places, all that type of stuff.
Right.
So if you allow your child to get past, especially at the young age, then they don't necessarily respect the wisdom you do have, even if you are telling them good stuff, because the dynamic is not one where in their mind they should be listening to you. It's like a suggestion instead of more of a...
I mean, you still take advice from a peer. You still can take advice from a peer. It's not to say that they don't process it.
But I'm just saying it's easier to... all I'm saying is that when you're a little kid,
you challenge it more because of it.
I'm just saying, when you're a little kid, you just take what is given to you. As a little kid, you don't have the developmental like skills to be like a friend. You know what I mean? This is a different dynamic. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I agree that it's a different dynamic. It's a different dynamic just because of because
they only have one parent, but
one parent, and also, I mean, I don't know because they're at a different age, but I think that actually no, I would say it does because your age is also going to determine the stage of
so
your life that you're in.
The parent might not even necessarily have all the things figured out, so it's harder for them to do.
I would say probably.
That's true, because I would if I had a kid right now, I would not be.
I wouldn't be.
My mind would be panicking.
I need to structure out. What do I need to
that's
do?
A lot of
like,
things.
bro, there's a lot of.
I was like 17.
You're literally raising a whole human being, bro, and trying to instill principles into them so that they can be a good person.
And people
like that's a lot.
Kids when they're like 30 mess up. Imagine now if I'm like 17. Like that's half as much experience in life to be able to teach a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess that's true.
3, 2, 1, go.
Wait.
I used to be like super outgoing in like high school and my classes and stuff. Being pregnant as like a college student, like there's many times that I feel more timid to speak because I feel like people judge me more. And I mean, maybe that's something I just have to work on, but like definitely like my relationship with myself has changed a lot.
I bet you can all relate. Like you meet your baby for the first time and it's like life just shifts. Like almost the glasses of like naiveness and childhood just kind of come off and you see the world from like that point of view. Like you just...
I've heard that a lot from parents. Like they say, like when you have a kid, like
it just
something changes.
It's different. And I would say, like I don't have a child, but having a child would change your life regardless.
Yeah, I see that. Because you have different priorities.
Because the reason why I said is because I forgot what the question was.
Oh, the question was about a relationship changing.
Yeah, and absolutely.
I don't think anyone's actually answered that yet, but.
2, 1, go.
Damn, I missed the question.
Is the baby daddy
With my
still
husband,
in
he's
the
kind
life?
of too involved. He's kind of like excluding me. Yeah, like I could barely grab my baby when he's around. He was planned, but before it all happened, he was my fiance. Well, I do come from a Hispanic family, and also
I think she's tight.
Who?
The blonde girl on the side, because I think she went disagree. Everyone else was kind of like my
still
kind of
involved.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That's what I suck.
religion, and you have to be married before having intercourse and having a kid. So we kept the baby a secret for 3 months,
That's
also
what my
to
parents
make
did.
sure he stuck
I think a lot
before
of
we
people do
told
this.
everybody. And
That thing, like if you have a religious background, a lot of times once they find out they're pregnant, they do like a secret. They keep
Secret
it hidden,
thing.
and then they get married real quickly, and then the baby
Oh.
comes down. You're like, you got a bump in the middle. It happens very common.
we found out I was pregnant on a Wednesday, and I got married that Saturday. Yeah. So he's really, really involved.
Yeah, see the distance between them.
I just want to ask you, would you have gotten married if you weren't pregnant? Would you have gotten married that
Trying to
early, I
call
should
her
say,
out?
if you weren't pregnant?
We were planning to get married the month.
That might be.
I feel like that's a little wrong.
That came out as like
you don't have to do that.
We all know that. Like, not as
Why
quickly
you
because
let her be happy? Like let her be happy.
They were fiance, like they were going to get married, but they weren't married yet. So like,
Yo, let her be happy, alright?
You can tell because she's on like the I'm happily married side.
Yeah.
And she's on the like I don't know what's going on. But Damn.
Little shade.
Yeah.
After.
Okay.
We were still gonna get married this young. It's just he came a little earlier.
When I was 14, I got pregnant, and my boyfriend was 14 as well. And we had already broken up before I found out.
See, that's what I was talking about. There's people that get pregnant in like middle school. She was one of those people. 14 is like
that's
14,
8th grade.
It's like, yeah, that's like 7th, 8th grade.
Can I check? I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check
let's
right
check
now.
it. She was like 9th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it depends on how. Yeah.
And that also, like, depending on how your birthday falls.
That too.
Yeah. Okay. So we can say 8 or 9. 8 or 9.
Either freshman year or.
Yeah. That's a hard life.
So when I found out I was pregnant, his initial reaction was just like freaking out, get an abortion even though you're 3 months along. And one of the first things he did was say I'm harassing him and blocked me. We got a paternity test. He decided that I was some type of slut after I found out I was pregnant, even though he was the only person I had ever been with. And after the paternity test, the court introduced visitation. She was 10 months old. She was 10 months old, and she finally got to meet her dad. And the visitation kept up for a while, but recently he's been getting into fights, and I mean, he hasn't seen her in a few months, and I don't know if
Wait, who's
I
fighting,
want
the
him
kid
in her
or
life.
him?
The kid's not fighting. The dad is fighting.
With her?
No, I mean he's getting into fights with other people or something. Cause she's like 19 now, so I'm guessing they're still like.
Oh, so
in high
he's
school or
like,
something,
yeah,
but he's, like,
bro, that's rough.
People are probably clowning him and things like that. I imagine.
That's
so,
that's
especially
rough.
where they're from, like it's Texas, where like you're like a.
I wish her the best in her life.
People
That's
don't
all I
really
can
fuck
say.
with you, I
And that
guess.
child, I hope they, they get through it.
Yeah, that's crazy though. Like
that's a rough life. Like you have different struggles than
that's
an
a
average
different
person.
problem. Yeah.
You have different struggles in your life because of that.
Damn.
I don't think it's healthy for her. I'd rather do it alone than with him at this point.
Damn.
What you expect from a boyfriend, what you expect from a father are totally different things. Totally different things. And especially since men mature way slower than girls.
Yeah.
100%. And the fact that we carry them for
She was so happy she got to get that off. Yeah, women love getting that one off.
I was like, but is that true? Is that true?
Yeah, when you're at that age, yeah.
At what age?
When you're like a little kid. Women mature faster than you guys.
Okay.
They say. I don't know if
they say
validity, but
okay.
I just think they love getting that off though.
up late at night, whether we breastfeed or we bottle feed or whatever, we are just so inclined to these little human beings. And for guys, you really have to be there to do that. And sometimes they don't want to be there or they can't be there for that.
They want to milk the teenage years, especially since they are still teenagers. They're still kids, and they want to go party. They want to live their lives. So sometimes it's hard. I mean, every guy's nightmare is getting their girlfriend pregnant, and sometimes it comes true.
I would encourage other teens to have children.
While out on this and say, see, this is what I like. This makes sense.
I feel like I would.
They all just like I thought they're gonna. I was expecting someone to be like stubborn and be like, no, it was the greatest thing I've ever done. But like they all were saying how they didn't like certain parts of it and they wish they had
right. So you're saying,
and they're
like,
all keeping 100 right now.
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
I wouldn't try. I wouldn't
advise somebody to be going through this.
And it's like, bro, like I respect the honesty.
Yo, he really appreciates that.
No one's like capping at all.
Wouldn't encourage them, not go up to the teen like, you should get pregnant. Hey, you should get pregnant. If that's their choice, that's their choice. If it could be prevented, if they feel like they're not ready, then just don't, because I miss my sleep.
I think it's interesting to talk to you because you planned it.
Yeah, if someone came up to me, I wouldn't say yes or no. I would just be like, are you ready? And I would give them so many scenarios of, do you have a job? Are you ready for it? Are you mentally prepared for it? Some people are.
That's the funny
Yeah.
part. It's like
See,
everyone
this
always
is,
thinks
like, the
about the
best.
financials, and they always think about, do you have a place and this and that. I'm like, I get it. Those are so incredibly huge. But like,
mentally.
state.
Every parent that I've ever met, it's like, it's hard being a parent at any age.
Yeah.
So let alone figuring yourself out, and then you're figuring out a little human
How'd they get
being
girls
as
with
well.
all the
I
same
think
height?
there's a huge difference between supporting teen moms and supporting teen
Why is that something you just be, bro?
Guys, like, see the line? Like, everyone's at the
Yeah,
same
they're
height.
did
I
it
don't know how they
like
did
basically
that.
all.
I guess some people have
Well,
heels
hold
too.
up. Homegirl in the front. I remember she has some big
She had
ass
nice
heels.
heels, yeah, and big heels.
Big
Nice.
difference between
Tall heels.
people look at it and
I don't
they
know
see
what I
like
was talking
what I
about.
post on
She's not even wearing
Instagram,
heels,
the
it's
stuff
boots.
the stuff I post on Instagram, the things that I post on Facebook.
The perfect version of it.
It's
She
not
also has heels on.
what being a
That's
mom is
talking right now.
actually like, because it's
Yeah.
it's cute little pictures
Oh,
of your
actually,
daughter in dresses, stuff like that.
second
And
girl,
that's not
too.
what being a mom is like.
Having a baby changed my life for the better. 3, 2,
I didn't understand agree.
1, go.
Because you have to be able to look at that kid and say, you're not going to say,
Yeah,
you're not a good mother.
Because
by saying that.
because I think that internally, if they processed it
as bad
as something that is negative,
they wouldn't be able to be
then that would be transferred to the child.
Yeah, it definitely would be.
Yeah.
So I think also, you know when they're talking about like when you're having a kid, it changes something in you.
Mm-hmm.
I think a part of that, maybe there's like some type of, I don't know if this is true, this is all speculative, but maybe there's some kind of like process that happens when you have a kid that makes you like linked with that kid, like emotionally and like physiologically.
Oh yeah, they talk
because
like isn't it like the imprinting and stuff
yeah,
like that?
maybe there's something like that. So like,
Yeah.
I think in order to help you be able to want to be with your kid, I think there's some type of process that makes it so that you-
biological process
Yeah,
that
some type of
happens.
that.
That would absolutely
that's
make
supposed to
yeah.
happen. Because the same thing happens with like animals.
I can't compare it to you guys yet because I don't have my baby yet. But like, I mean, it's as simple as getting up and going to my class. But I have a whole new motivation to do something as simple as that and strive for my best. So
The hard times became
I'm
beautiful
sorry, I
because
didn't
at the
get
end
the
of
correlation.
every long cry that I had before her, I had her. And I had, our future to dream about. I'm over here going through some of the hardest things, and she gave me a whole new perspective. So no, it didn't get easier, but she turned everything, bad and good, better. Okay, I want hugs from everybody.
This is a good video.
I like this.
Yeah,
This was wholesome.
Wholesome video.
Wholesome, yeah.